Hello, my name's Scott Fromey, and welcome to the Backwoodsman Institute. What I'd like to show you tonight is yet another wild edible that is native to the eastern part of the United States. And that wild edible is called the Jerusalem artichoke. What is the Jerusalem artichoke? Well, it's actually a species of sunflower. How it's got its name, there's several theories on that. The French explorers that were exploring North America at the time around the early 1600s or late 1500s noticed that the Native Americans were eating this plant, and they took it back to Europe with them. Now this area of North America, like I said, is early 1600s. There were some pilgrims coming over and settling in North America, and they called this land the New Jerusalem. And so I think that part of it got stuck on with the plant. Now when they took it back to Europe and cooked it and tested it, they all thought, that tastes a lot like an artichoke. So that's one theory on how it's got its name. It's called the Jerusalem artichoke. One name that's kind of being associated with this plant, since it's not really associated with Jerusalem and it's not associated with artichoke, is the term sunchoke. So if you hear the name sunchoke being used, they're probably in reference of the Jerusalem artichoke. Like I said, it's a member of the sunflower family. It's actually late September right now and they're blooming. So that's why I picked now to kind of introduce or show you what the Jerusalem artichoke is, because you can spot it, the flowers, a lot easier than you can spot the plant. Now here is the flowers of the Jerusalem artichoke. You can see behind me that I have some planted. I'm actually in my garden here, and I have it planted in my garden. It's cultivated. The stalks itself are probably, a lot of them are almost 9 feet tall. So it gets really tall plant. It gets a really thick stem on it. This is just the top of it. It's kind of it's rough. It's kind of almost like, I wouldn't say furry, but it's kind of a rough stalk, and it's pretty thick. The bigger stalks are about yay round. Where you're going to find the Jerusalem artichoke out in the wild? Well, around here in southern Indiana, you're going to see it a lot along the fence rows, old ditch lines, old roadsides. It just kind of grows in little waste areas. Like I said, it's late September, and around here it's starting to bloom, and you can find these flowers and spot the plant. Because really the time to harvest or to utilize the plant is in the wintertime, when the plant is dead and the flowers are long gone. The stalks, it's going to take a little while for the stalks to go down in the wintertime. You can always find the stalks, but actually find really what you're looking for. Like I said, I'd study the plant now. And come wintertime is the best time to utilize the plant. What part of the plant are you utilizing? You're going to be harvesting and utilizing the tubers of the plant. Now the tubers it's kind of like a potato. A potato is a tuber. Kind of grows off the root systems. Let me show you real quick what I'm talking about. Now here's what I'm talking about as far as what the tubers are going to be like. Here's off the root. I pulled up a stalk. They're small right now, but they'll get a little bit bigger time winter comes along, and some of them get to be as round as your fist. You can see that they're not like round like a potato would be. They're kind of knobby a little bit. A wild Jerusalem artichoke, the skin is normally a reddish or a darker color. These, you notice, they're white, kind of like a potato would be. And they're white is because they are a cultivated variety. Now I say cultivated, I recognize that the Jerusalem artichoke is a viable food source and it can be utilized, and I use it in, especially if times are lean, I got a constant source of some potential food. So like I said, these are a cultivated variety that are developed. Maybe in Europe they took the plant and developed it. I actually bought the seed stock from a seed company and planted it in my garden. it's not really an easy plant to get rid of it once you get started because of all these little tubers in there. It's hard to find, when you go through and dig up a row of Jerusalem artichoke, it's hard to find all these little tubers, especially the small ones. Well, next spring, guess what? They're going back into stalks already. If you're going to plant them in your garden and keep them in your garden, find an area that you're going to keep them in the whole time, because you don't really, and you want to watch them because they'll actually do some spreading. If you're a diabetic, you've probably heard about this plant already. This plant, the tuber of this, is a potato substitute. And the reason, well, like I said, in reference to diabetics, is the fact that it doesn't contain the starch that a potato has. When a diabetic has to watch your blood sugar, well, this doesn't have the starch in it to spike your blood sugar after you eat it. What it does have, it's called inulin, not insulin, inulin. There is a little word of caution though, if you never eaten these before. Start out, as with all wild edibles, start out with just small servings at a time and see how your body adjusts to it. It's a new type of food and your body may not adjust to it. Because this contains inulin and actually turns to fructose, some people find it a little hard to digest. So what happens with those that have a hard time digesting this? It actually gives them gas and causes them to feel bloated. So I wouldn't really eat a big mess of it right off the bat. I would take little portions of it, see how you like it or how your body reacts to it, and go from there. Like I said, it's a potato substitute. You use it in any recipe that you can fix a potato with. Same way. Now the way I harvest it and utilize the plant itself is I just let it go, and during the winter months, I let the plant go dormant and die off, stalk, die down, and I don't pick the roots out because it's hard to keep the Jerusalem artichoke tuber, but it will stay in the ground. So what I do is I'll just harvest a little bit at a time throughout the winter months. Whenever I feel the urge to eat it or use it, I'll come out here and I'll dig up some, enough for a meal or two, and take it in there and prepare it. So, and by waiting till it gets cool, it makes it taste a little bit sweeter, I think. Like I said, it's a wild edible. Go out there, harvest it sometime, scout it out now, and find your spots. And this winter, kind of come back and harvest a few tubers, take them home and eat them. If you like it, you might want to transplant some to the garden, or you can order from a seed catalog and get some starts from seed catalog and put it in your garden. Either way, like I said, it's easy to grow. I keep it kind of close to home so I don't have to be searching all over the countryside for it. So go ahead and check it out. Catch you out in the woods.